Hi, this is Andy Frith from Sheffield Advanced Motorcyclists. John Camm on his seventh ride. Hit a bit of a wall because we're looking for consistency in the ride now, and sometimes you do things and sometimes you don't. So this is pointing out those things that you really need to concentrate on. Coming onto the M18 at Bramley here, a very good entry, nicely adjusted speed and stayed in a good safety position for that lorry, and then into lane one and bit of a check and out right into the fast lane for the overtake, and I thought that was really well done. A good entry, and I think you're quite confident on the motorways. So as we discussed, this was a good part of the ride. Signalling was a big issue throughout the ride. Here it was given correctly, you let that car know that you were turning left. But as you were guiding, I could have done with a signal just here, just to let us know that we were peeling off the main road. Signalling again, you started to signal right. I thought you were turning into that junction there on the right. And then I thought, oh no, you're going into this one. But you actually were turning right at the main road junction further down the road. By the time we got here, which is where you should have been giving a signal if it was required, I don't think it probably was. Bends was another issue throughout the ride, being too close to the apex. Mirror checks on change of speed limits are basically non-existent. I think you did them once. And also control coming up to stops is done on your front brake and your right leg's going down, your bike wobbles a lot. So we really need to work on that. Back brake, controlled stopping, left leg down, just to get used to it. Talking about control again, you did this a few times where you stopped and then took both hands off the handlebars to have a stretch and just sat there with no hands on it. It's more dangerous later on, but keep one hand on the bike. Riding position here, default is normally 3 in your lane, so you get a better view and you can be seen and you can move over when stuff starts to overtake you. So here you gradually move back into 3, but then we've got a transit van coming up, which was quite close to you, and rear ob should have pushed you back into position 2 there just for a bit of safety. Entry to this roundabout was a little bit cockeyed in a way because you went in the left lane, which is a left turn, popped out in front of that white van, but then carried straight on, and then no signal off the roundabout. Consistency, looking for consistency again, talking about speed. We're in a 40 mile an hour limit here, and we're doing on my clock 34. We could have really got up there. Signal required here for that traffic approaching the roundabout. So all these things I'm pointing out, again, mirror check missed. You're just not consistent with it throughout the whole ride, and it's areas that we've really got to start concentrating on. This was actually quite good. You gave a signal here for that car, even though the main route does go left. It was still a good move to give that signal. No mirror check on nationals here, and again I think it took us a long time to get up to speed. We were in 24-25 miles an hour here. It's a 60. I know there's bends, I know it was cold, but the road surface is pretty dry, and I think we can do more than 30 miles an hour. another mirror check missed here. So you've been missing a lot of mirror checks, and then on this one, the only time when I saw you actually did it, we got two. We got one approaching the Nationals there, and then as we got a lot closer to them, we got another one there. Yes. So we want that all the time. So again, progress in a National, 31 miles an hour, cold but dry road surface. Took us a long time to get up to the Nationals. So here, yeah, bit of sun in the eyes. We reduce speed a little bit, but again, road surface is dry, and when we eventually do get up to 60 miles an hour, I can't see a lot of difference between this and what you'd just previously been through. So again, the consistency of making progress needs to be addressed. Back to the riding position here, over towards 1 to increase your view around the bend. This was a common theme. Sometimes you did it, sometimes you didn't. And here you're hitting the apex there, look, rather than staying out for the view and doing what we call a late apex. Now this is where control is important. You stopped here, took your hands off the bars again, and then we get a big heavy, very close. Now that wasn't solid sided, but sometimes they can give you a real knock, so you should keep hold of the bike. Another mirror check required there. Okay, this last one, you got a great cross view of that heavy coming to, looks as though it's coming to join us on the road. We're doing 40 miles an hour in a 60, and if we'd have been on it, we'd have been way past this heavy. But as it was, it pulled out in front of us, and then we were stuck behind it. So this means you should use the information that's presented to you. So it wasn't a bad ride, but all these things that I pointed out just make you lose the consistency of the ride. So you're doing some of the things right some of the time, but a lot of the time you're letting these things slip, and it's detracting from the advanced ride. It's not where we want to be at this stage. So we really need to take it back to basics, I think, and start concentrating on one thing at a time until you actually get that as part of your riding behaviour, and then you don't need to think about it and we can concentrate on other stuff. But don't give up hope, don't despair. Everybody hits a wall, and eventually these things will click into place. So look forward to the next ride. Cheers.